Okay, this is chapter 15, Crabbe's Journal from Crabbe by William Bell, and this is the analysis video by your English teacher here, Miss Browning. Okay, so we are now at the point where the turning point, right? Winter has arrived. So remember, winter was coming, winter has arrived. Crabbe knows what that means. He gives us an inventory of the way that the nature has changed, which of course is some, I'd say, pathetic fallacy for us, right? Leaves are falling. Um, and I wondered if there's no mention of dead, I don't think. Okay, so it's also cold, right? Difficult decisions are going to be made, hard conversations. So, of course, it's raining. Of course, it's dark. Of course, it's cold. And we start off with a misunderstanding, which is interesting for us. And Crabbe mentions that he doesn't want to sound whiny and pleading like a child. It ends up with Mary saying, "You're a fine man." We've seen this before. Crabbe has this whole Bildungsroman, this growing up kind of theme, and he is always concerned that he's being immature and that he's kind of a conundrum, right? He thinks he's very smart and he knows what he's doing, but he also at his core realizes that he is just a child and he has a lot to learn. And that's been emphasized throughout the novel. So Mary, of course, knows that he needs to go. He knows it too. And we get this sort of, no, it's impossible that she could come with him. So we still don't know the nature of why Mary is in the forest. But we get a clear sense in this chapter that she definitely plans to stay. She needs to refill her food supply so that she can stay for the rest of the winter. And we find out the plan. There's a lot of mention in here about how this is their last journey together and they part ways finally, etc. So we don't really have a mystery of what's going to happen. We already know that Crabbe ends up in a hospital alone and that so we don't know what the nature of the ending of this novel is going to be, despite the fact that we have a look ahead. So that's really good writing, in my opinion. So they're going to take this long track. Oh, one thing I noticed too is that Crabbe mentions his map skills. And so that's a little bit of foreshadowing for us, of course, that those will probably be important. It's been a theme throughout, right? Crabbe not knowing where he's going. It's thematic, but it's also plot driven, right? He physically doesn't know where he's going, but he also doesn't know where his life is leading him. He railed against the fact that his parents and the schools and that have all these plans for young people, and they don't even ask them. They don't even listen to them. So, yeah, also Mary says that she stole them, but we find out that's not really true. So, I'm not sure what the feeling is if you haven't read the novel about Mary and if she, why she's on the run, if it's that she is a criminal, but we find out here that she doesn't steal even. We know a few things about her from the previous chapters too, that she's like highly educated. He describes her as graceful and all these things. So I guess I just glossed over it, but Crabbe says he loves her romantically. She doesn't love him that way. She loves him as a friend. He's not surprised. Again, we've never had any kind of sexual or romantic feelings expressed here, even from Crabbe himself, despite the fact that he says that he feels romantic love for her. I don't think that we really even, at least for me as a reader, it doesn't feel like he's like obsessed with her or anything. It feels like a much more like respectful kind of friendship situation. So we find out all the plan. They're going to the hunting cabin and they arrive there by the end of the chapter. However, smoke was coming from one of the chimneys. So we leave off on a cliffhanger, if you will. That is implying, of course, that the cabins that they hoped would be vacant are not. And they're here. So what will happen? We'll find out in the next chapter.